test, test. All right. Good morning. I see some of you on Zoom have power. Us Fairfaxians did not. So, all right. Make sure you have a couple of blocks. I think that's all we'll need, and maybe some extra padding for the knees if you want to use one of the smaller mats underneath your own yoga mat, or 2 yoga mats. All right. So let's start in a seated position. And it might be a little easier if you like. You can also sit on a block if that helps. Otherwise, we'll just sit in an easy cross-legged position to start. And just take a big shoulder roll and just kind of let the shoulders come back. So you just start opening the chest. Maybe you feel a little engagement in the abs to help you sit taller. And go ahead and close your eyes. And deepen the breath. And take a big exhale. And then we'll start to make our way to that yoga space. Shifting from outer awareness to our inner observer. And this being the beginning of a new year, we'll go over some of the basics. So we'll try to work with a beginner's mind and pretend we haven't done it before and just kind of go over and reset some of our habits. So just start out with focusing on the breath. Letting go of any tension on the exhale. Notice the expansion of the chest and the belly on the inhale. Letting the shoulders drop as the crown of the head moves toward the ceiling. And then go ahead and open your eyes. And we'll just start by matching and coordinating our breath with movement. So start with a big inhale, take the arms up. And on the exhale, just let the shoulders drop. Again, on the inhale, extend through the elbows so you're really reaching through the fingertips as the shoulders are dropping. Feeling that engagement of the abdominals, the pelvic floor muscles. Inhale, and then exhale, allow the hands to come down. Again, gently inhale the arms up, and exhale, floating down with the breath. Inhale up, and again, exhale the arms down. And let's take the hands gently behind the head. You can interlace the fingers. And from here, just inhale as the elbows open. And then on the exhale, we'll bring the elbows together. And inhale, open. And exhale, close, just noticing the movement in the scapula. Opening, widening the chest, and then exhale, broadening through the back as the scapula separate. Inhale and exhale, and inhale, exhale, inhale, and one more. Exhale, bring the elbows together and release. And just take a couple shoulder rolls. And let's inhale the arms up. Shoulders are dropped, and we'll take it to one side. So take one hand down to the mat, and then extending the top arm past the ear so that shoulder is dropping toward the mat, the lower shoulder. An arm is extending through the fingers. See if you can straighten through the elbow. And then bring that shoulder back, reaching through the fingertips. You're pressing that sit bones and hip to the mat as you reach in the opposite direction. So you get a nice stretch from the fingertips to the sit bones. Feel a stretch in the rib cage. And go ahead and take your hand to your ear. And then on your inhale, we'll inhale, open up, and then exhale, start to rotate from the waist. So you get a little twist. And inhale, open. And exhale, twisting from the waist. So you're starting to face that hand. And open. And exhale, twist. And inhale, open. And exhale, twist. And inhale, open, stay there. And then re-extend that hand. Then inhale and let that arm bring you back up. Let's take the arms up again. And from here, we're going to come forward. So reaching through the fingertips, you can also use your blocks here. So we're trying to come forward without rounding so much. Think of extending. So the sit bones are on the mat. The spine is nice and long, so you're feeling length in both the front body and the back body. Shoulders are reaching back away from the ears. Inhale, exhale, just notice where you're feeling the stretch there. And then you can walk your hands back up. And let's change the fold of your legs. So you have the other leg in front this time. Inhale the arms up. And exhale, we'll take it to a side bend on the other side. So reaching through that top hand, that bottom shoulder is dropping away from the ear. And reaching through the fingertips, see if you can extend through that elbow and through the fingertips, pressing the opposite hip down. It might be easier or feel really different on one side from to the other. Taking that top shoulder back, pressing the hips forward. And then go ahead and take the hand to your ear. And then we'll slowly twist from the waist. As you exhale, inhale, open, and exhale, twist, and inhale, open, and exhale, twist, inhale, open, we'll hold it there, re-extend through that arm, and then use the inhale and that arm to bring you back up. Last one, let's take the arms up. And again, inhale, we'll come forward, reaching, extending through the spine, lengthening through the back of the neck. So you're looking about a foot in front of you, so you're not pulling the head back or dropping it down, but it's an extension of the spine. Nice and long. Maybe feeling a stretch through the lower back. And then we'll gently walk it back up. And take your blocks and we'll just take one to each side of the mat, to the front of the mat, and come onto all fours. So the wrists are right under the shoulders and the knees are under the hips. I'm wearing a brace today because I've been having some arthritis in my thumb. So it's really come to my attention that to focus on modifications and alternatives, variations for whatever we might be feeling at any given moment or day. So on the all fours, if you're having an issue with the wrists or the fingers or thumbs, you can always come down onto your forearms as an alternative. If it's okay for you, keep the hands under the shoulders, and we'll just take a few cat-cows. So from here, we're going to inhale, and as you inhale, let the belly and the bottom of the ribs drop. Inhale, you're lifting the chin, lifting the tailbone, rounding the spine down. And then on the exhale, we're going to drop the head, drop the tailbone, and bring the navel as close as you can to the spine. So we're creating space between each vertebra, finding lots of flexion in the spine, and then inhale and exhale round. Inhale, drop the belly, and then exhale round. And you can bring your hips back a little bit at the same time, so you're coming toward a child's pose, still pulling the navel in, and then come back up. And again, drop down, inhale, and then exhale round, and then you can push it back to your child's pose. Feel that stretch through the lower back and the arms. Come back up, inhale, and exhale, rounding, and push it back. Feel the stretch through the arms, lower back, armpits, and come back up. Let's come back to a neutral spine. So the abdominals are strongly engaged. And again, here you can be on your hands, or if you prefer, on the forearms. We're going to take the right leg back. So the ball of the foot is still on the mat. You're pressing through the heel, starting to feel that stretch in the back of that leg. Abdominals strong. Trying to balance the weight between both hands. Their hips are equally distant from the mat. On the inhale, let's lift that leg so it's coming straight back from the hip, pressing through the heel. An option here to stay right here, or if you want to work on your balance pose, spinal balance, we can lift the left arm. So you have opposite arm and leg reaching through the fingertips. Again, staying nice and strong through the abdominals. Your weight is focused right down the center line. We're going to inhale as you extend. Exhale, we'll bring the elbow and the knee in as you round. Inhale, extend. Focus on the abdominals and that center line for balance. Exhaling as you bring it in. And then inhale, extend. And bring that elbow in as you exhale. Inhale, extend. And then round, bring the elbow to knee, hold it there. And then extend. And we'll bring the hand down, bring the foot down, bring the knees back together. And we'll send the left leg back. And again, if you need to come off the wrists, you can always come down to forearms or just do a little. So I would recommend, if you're really feeling that, I'm going to do it on my forearms here. And then lift that left leg goes back, press through the ball of the foot first, find that stretch in the back of the leg. And then inhale, take that leg up straight from the hip. And then you can add the opposite arm. And then as you exhale, we'll bring the knee and the elbow in and extend. And exhale, rounding. And extend. Focus on the abdominals for strength and stability and balance. And extend. And bring it in. And extend. And then we'll bring the arm down, bring the knee down. And let's come up on the knees and just face the front of the room. So from here, your Zoom people can be on the same side. So we'll take one leg out to the side, to the window side, so we're all facing the same direction. And then from here, we'll take the opposite hand to the mat, fingers facing the short end. And then inhale, take the arm overhead and just reach through the fingertips. You can point the toes of the extended leg toward that short end of the mat. So try not to let the hips come back. We're pressing the hips forward so we're all in one line, reaching through the fingertips, stretching that entire side. And then inhale, let that arm bring you up. And then from here, let's take the hands to the back of the head. So you can face your toes forward. And then we're going to take a side bend. So we'll inhale and then exhale, trying to move from the waist and then exhale, come back up. Inhale, exhale, bend. Inhale, come back up. So it's trying to stay nice and long on both sides. So you're not just bending, but really keeping the both sides of the rib cage extended. And come back up. And then bend. And come back up. Stay there, or we can add on. This time we'll take it down and then do that twist. So we're twisting from the waist toward the mat. Bring that elbow back up and come back up. Good. Let's try that again. So we're bending and then twisting to look at the mat. And then re-extend and come back up. One more time. Take that bend, extending through both sides of the rib cage. Twist, straighten, and come back up. Good. Go ahead, and it is warming up in here. I can turn the heat down if it's too warm. How is the temperature good? Good. Okay. Okay. Let's take the arms up. And then we'll just take a little stretch to the other side. So sliding that arm down your leg and reaching for the fingertips again, trying not to, I'm going to face this way so you can see, try not to let the hips go back, but keep those hips pressed forward so we're in a straight line. And come back up. And from here, we'll take one hand down to the mat. And here it comes. We're going to lift that leg. So press through the heel. From here, we're going to lift and lower. So inhale, lift and lower and lift. Again, the strength is coming from the core, from the abdominals, and lower and lift and lower and lift. Starting from straight out, we're lifting up and lower and lift and lower. Then hold it up. Take that top hand to your ear. We're going to bring the knee in. Inhale, exhale, bring elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. And elbow to knee. And extend. And elbow to knee. And extend. Elbow to knee, hold it there. Strong through the abdominals. And extend. And then take that foot down and we'll come back up. From here, let's make sure your back toes are tucked, and we'll take the hands and walk them forward as your hips come back, so we get a nice long stretch on the inner thigh of the extended leg. Inhale and exhale. And then you can slowly walk your fingers about halfway toward your extended foot. And you get a little extra stretch, bring the hips back. And then walk it back to center and walk the hands in, and we'll bring both knees in. Let's go ahead and extend the leg out to the other side. So you can start with the toes pointing to the short end of the mat. And then from here, we'll take the opposite hand down and start with our stretch overhead, reaching through the fingertips. Again, pressing the hips forward. So you get that full stretch. Maybe look up or down, whatever is comfortable for your neck. See if you can straighten that elbow and reach through the fingertips. And then use the inhale to come back up. Good. Take the arms up. We'll face the foot forward this time. And take the hand down. And then we'll lift that leg. Again, pulsing up. We're going to inhale and exhale. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift, hold it there, press through the heel. And we'll take the hand to the head. You can point the toe. Inhale. Exhale, we'll bring elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. And exhale, elbow to knee. and extend, and elbow to knee, extend, and elbow to knee, extend, hold it there, opening up the chest, and then we'll bring it all back up. And again, let's come to face the front of the mat. Oh yes, my favorite one. Thank you. There, she did it again. Yay, Deborah. Okay. Yes, I like this stretch too. So tuck the back foot and we'll walk the hands forward as you bring the hips back. I thought I was forgetting something. And then you can walk the hands toward that foot for a little extra inner thigh stretch. Also in that side of the rib cage. And then walk it back up. Slowly come back up, and we'll come back to all fours. And from here, let's take the hands just a little bit forward of being right under the shoulders, and tuck the back toes, and let's use the strength of the abdominals to lift the hips back into downward dog. And feet can be about hip distance apart, and go ahead and pedal your feet, stretch the back of the legs. So for downward dog, there's not a whole lot of modifications, but what you can do if you're having trouble is use the bar or a wall. So you get that same stretch here without putting the weight on the wrists and the hands. Here against with the bar, or you can also work up against the wall. So make sure the fingers are spread nice and wide, pressing through the fingertips, the balls of the base of the fingers. The inner elbows are reaching toward each other, so you feel that stretch between the shoulder blades, and nice and strong abdominals are lifted, lower abs are lifted, pelvic floor muscles. Go ahead and deeply bend the knees and then lift the hips even higher so you get that stretch in the upper body from the fingertips to the sit bones. And then go ahead and slowly lower the heels, keeping that height. From here, step the left foot a little bit closer to the mat. We'll take the right leg up. And then keep the hips square. Your right leg is coming straight out from your hips. Go ahead and point your toe and then bend that right knee. And then we're going to roll the right hip on top of the left hip. So the knee is now pointing to the ceiling, toes pointing to the floor. So your right hip is stacked on top of the left hip. Supporting leg, the heel of the supporting leg is on the mat. You can keep a slight bend in that knee. And then we're going to try and keep equal weight in both arms. So the upper body is still in your downward dog position and you're opening up through the inner thigh. And then go ahead and bring the hips back square. And then you can extend that leg high behind you. Now you can lift that heel off the mat from the supporting foot, reaching back as you inhale. And then exhale, we're going to point the toe, bring the knee in toward the chest, come forward, rounding, and exhale, take it back out. Inhale, exhale, bring the knee to chest as you come forward, high on the back, on the ball of the back foot, and take it back. And again, inhale, exhale, rounding, look forward. This time we'll take that foot right between the hands. Now that might take you more than one step. It's okay. You can drop the back knee and then place the foot, whatever it takes, so that you end up with the foot between the hands and the knee is aligned over the ankle. Here you can use your blocks pressing through that back leg. And we'll just rock a little on the ball of the back foot. So we're opening up that hip flexor of the back leg. Inhale, exhale. Then very slowly with control, we're going to lower that back knee down. You can untuck the toe. And then start by bringing your hands to that knee. And then we're going to work the hips toward the mat, but you want to make sure that you're really engaging the muscles around the hips, the lower back, the abdominals. So go ahead and see if you notice the difference. See if you just drop the hips and you let everything go, you'll feel a little bit more of a compression in the lower back. So you really want to support the lower back by engaging the glutes and think of lengthening through the lower back as you come forward, noticing that stretch, the back psoas muscle, shoulders dropped, and then you can go ahead and take the arms up. Reaching through the fingertips, Virabhadrasana 1 arms, Warrior 1 arms, shoulders drop, shoulder blades come together. Inhale, and then exhale, let's bring the hands back to either side of that front foot. And then slowly we'll back the hips up and we'll come into a half split. You can lift your foot, flexing that front foot. See if you can keep the spine nice and long to start. So rather than bending down, reaching the spine long, you can also use blocks here to get a little more space. We'll inhale and then exhale, come forward. And then inhale, come back. We get a little flow, opening up the back of that front foot leg. And take it back. Try and keep your hips square so that left hip might want to go out to the side. You can also adjust the heel of that front foot if you want to move it more toward the center of the mat. We'll come forward and exhale, take it back. And again, bring it forward. Next time you come forward, you can set the blocks to the side of the mat. Take your hands down to either side of that front foot. And then we'll step that front foot back to downward dog, tucking the back toes. And you're back in your downward dog. So again, bring the feet to about hip distance apart. And then we'll take the left leg up, straight out from the hips, hip square, pressing through the heel. Go ahead and point that left toe. And then bending that left knee. This time we're going to stack the left hip on top of the right. So the right knee is working towards the ceiling, left toes pointing toward the floor. And again, trying to keep equal weight in both hands. So we're getting a nice twist, opening in the inner thigh, and psoas. And then we'll come back, square off the hips. Then you can extend that leg nice and high. You can bring the heel of the supporting foot off the mat, reaching nice and high as you inhale. And then exhale, we'll bring that left knee to chest, a rounding as you come forward. Inhale, take it back. And exhale, round. And take it back. Exhale, round, pulling the abs in, look forward, lifting that knee as high as you can to step it forward between the front hands. Right. And then go ahead and you can take your hands up on the blocks and we'll just rock a little bit on the ball of that back foot, starting to open up that hip flexor on the right side. The left knee is aligned over the left ankle. And then very slowly with control, we'll bring that back knee down to the mat, untuck the toes, and go ahead and take the blocks out to the side as you bring your hands up to that knee. And again, we want to make sure we're nice and strong through the glutes. Shoulder blades are dropped. shoulders away from the ears. And then you can sink down a little bit closer. Let the hips drop toward the mat with a lot of support. So think of lengthening through the lower back rather than bending. And inhale the arms up, using the press of that back foot for support. So you're lengthening from the fingertips to the back toes. Inhale, and then exhale, bring the hands down either side of that front foot. And then we'll slowly back those hips up, coming into a half split. You can lift that front foot. You can also heel toe that foot a little bit more toward the center of the mat. Trying to keep the hips from going off to the side either way. Lengthening through the spine here. And then we'll take it to a flow. Inhale, come forward. You can also be up on the blocks for a little more space. The front body. And take it back. Exhale. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, take it back. Inhale, come forward. And exhale, take it back. Hold it there, and then just allow the head to drop this time toward the shin so you get a nice strong stretch through the back of that leg. And then you can come forward. We'll move the blocks off to the side. Take your hands down to either side of that foot. Retuck the back toe. And this time we're going to come into a plank pose. So from here, we'll take that front foot back to meet the back foot and come into your plank. So abdominals are nice and strong. Try not to let the hips drop too much or come too high. So we're trying to make a nice straight line, pressing through the balls of the feet, hands into the mat. From here, let's lower the knees. And then we'll slowly untuck the toes and bring the elbows in as you slowly lower down to the mat. Keeping the shoulder blades really pulled back, elbows in, and we're gonna, once you're down here, we're gonna really press the pubic bone into the mat. Legs are together. We'll come into a baby cobra. So for your baby cobra, hands are right under the shoulders. Shoulder blades pulling together and back. And then rather than coming up with the head, try and lift from the upper back and let the head follow. Exhale, lower down. So you don't want to just yank the neck up. We're trying to keep a nice neutral neck. So again, inhale, using the strength of the upper back. Maybe lift the hands off the mat. Legs nice and strong. And then take your hands back to the mat and lower down. Let's come back to hands and knees. And then press back into your downward dog. Take a breath there. From here, we'll inhale and come to a plank. And then exhale back to downward dog. Inhale, come up on the balls of the feet, come forward to plank. And exhale, downward dog. Using the strength of the abdominals to move you from one pose to the other. Inhale, come to plank. And exhale, downward dog. One more time, let's hold it in the plank. Now from here, we'll take it to a side plank. So lower your knees to the mat and then just walk your hands back to sit for a minute and face the front of the room. So on the side side plank, most of you know this, we're just going to do a quick review. There are lots of options. You can roll onto the side of one foot with the feet stacked, which takes a lot of balance. Another option is to have that top foot just in front of that bottom foot. So there's less of a balance, lifting the hips. Another option is to take that foot for a little extra support. And then, of course, the last option is to take that knee down, similar to the position we did earlier. So let's all come back to our plank position. And then you choose, you can try one. And if you prefer on any given day, it might be easier to lift the hips or not. So start by full plank. And then we'll roll on to the side. You can face me. Just remember which side you're doing, and then you could do the other side. So there's your first option. Reaching through the fingertips, abdominal strong, really trying to tuck that shoulder blade of the supporting arm into your back. So you're using that back muscles. And then here, there's another option. You can also have the feet in tandem, and we'll take it back, lower the knees, and then let's come back to a child's pose in between. So you choose. You know, it might be a big difference from one side to the other, or depending on injuries, arthritis, whatever it might be. And we'll come back up. Again, let's tuck the toes. We'll start in our high plank. This time we'll roll to the other side. Feet stacked, or one foot can be in front, or you can have one knee on the mat. You choose. But we're lifting the hips and trying to keep the hips from, again, rolling back, but we're in a nice straight line. Inhale, and then exhale. Let's bring the hands back together. And then shift forward just a little bit. Pull those elbows in, shoulder blades back, and then we'll lower ourselves all the way to the mat, either knees up or knees down, and come back to your cobra position. Pressing the feet into the mat, pubic bone into the mat. Bring the hands back just a little bit as you inhale, and lifting maybe a little deeper into your cobra, coming up a little higher. Pulling the shoulder blades back. Glutes are nice and strong. And exhale, come all the way down. So that's another option. Baby cobra, full cobra. So we're working on all the pieces of your vinyasa or your flow. So your options are always to come on hands and knees and straight back to downward dog, or you can come through your different variations of your vinyasa flow. So let's come back to downward dog and come high on the balls of the feet. This time we're going to walk the feet forward. So we're coming into a forward fold. So your feet are still about hip distance apart, and just let the head drop. You can have the knees slightly bent or straight, but just letting the head go. Let the shoulders and arms be heavy. You sway a little side to side. On the next inhale, we'll come to a flat back. So we'll inhale, hands can be on the mat or on the shins. Strong through the abdominals and lengthening as much as you can from the top of the head to the tailbone. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, and your next exhale, let it go. Come back to your forward fold. Again, inhale, come to your flat back. Strong through the abdominals. And forward fold. From here, this time we're going to come all the way up. So as you inhale, straighten the back and then reverse swan dive. Arms come up. Knees can be straight or bent. We'll take the arms all the way up overhead. And then exhale the hands to the heart. So from here, just go ahead and close your eyes for a moment. Let the shoulders drop. Notice any sensations. Your abdominals are slightly engaged for support. Feel all four corners of each foot on the mat. Go ahead and open your eyes. And from here, let's inhale the arms up. And then we're going to sit down into a chair pose or Utkatasana. So just bring the hips back slightly. So we're trying to keep the knees over the ankles. So you're not bringing your knees forward, but you're trying to bring your hips back, keeping the spine nice and long. Arms can be straight in front of you or by your ears. Strong engagement through the abdominals here, lower abs, shoulders away from the ears. Inhale to come back up. Let's take that again. Inhale the arms up and then start to lower the hips down so they come behind you. Nice long spine. Maybe lower the hips a little bit more. Let's bring the hands together at the heart. And then we're going to take a twist. So from here, we'll lower down a little bit more and then start to twist to your right. And you can bring that left elbow on the outside of the right knee. If that doesn't work, you can always take the outside of the forearm to help you with the twist and take the other hand to the lower back. So if you can get down there, you can hook that elbow against the knee. Now your hands can be in prayer position, or you can have this to palm, which might be a little easier. Inhale and exhale, long through the spine. Okay, from here, we're going to take the weight onto the left foot. The right foot. We're going to move that left foot back. So from here, we're just going to step, not the leg that you're not leaning on. We're going to lift that leg up, engage through the abdominals, and step it back. So now we come into a high lunge twist. And then we'll take the arms up. So now we're in a high lunge. And from here, exhale the hands down to either side of that front foot. And we're going to hop that back leg up. So lifting that leg as high as you can. The supporting heel is on the mat. So we're in a standing split. Now, if you want to make it a little bit more of a balance challenge, you can move your hands closer to that foot, or even using one hand on the back of the ankle. Inhale and exhale, reaching that top leg way back. We'll come back to a high lunge. Inhale the arms up. Drop the shoulders, straightening that back leg or having a slight bend. We're going to come into warrior two. So from here, I'm going to drop that back heel to the mat and allow the arms to come down. So the front toes are facing the front of the mat and your knee is still, you can adjust the distance between your front and back foot. So your front knee is over the ankle and you can still press into the pinky toe edge of that back foot. Drop the shoulders. Inhale and exhale. Shoulders are aligned over the hips. Feel that opening through the hips. And from here, we'll inhale, turn the front palm toward the ceiling, and just take it back. For reverse warrior, let the shoulders drop, reaching through the fingertips. And then inhale, we'll come back up and just windmill the arms so they come down to the mat on either side of the front foot. Lift that back heel. And then take the palms to the mat and we'll send that front foot back. So we're now in plank. Shift forward a little bit, either with the knees up or knees down. Bring the elbows in. We'll lower all the way to the mat. And then pressing the pubic bone into the mat. Let's come into our cobra, low or high. And if you want, you can tuck the toes and come into or actually untuck the toes and come into an up dog. So up dog, you're in a cobra position, but your legs are lifted except for the tops of your feet. So you want to have your hands a little bit further back. And then from there, you can just roll right over the tops of your toes, lifting through the hips and the abdominals, and come back to your downward dog. If you're in cobra position, bend your knees, come back to downward dog. And then we'll come high on the balls of the feet. And again, walk the feet toward the hands and come back to your forward fold. Maybe straighten the legs a little bit more. Weight equally distributed on both feet, front and back. Maybe sway a little. Let the head be heavy. The next inhale, let's come to a flat back. So inhale, shoulders away from the ears. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, let's come all the way up, reaching, opening through the chest. Arms come up. And exhale, the hands to the heart. Again, inhale the arms up. Again, let's sit back into our chair pose. So the hips are coming back, abdominals strong, shoulder blades together. Neck is neutral. Maybe sit down a little bit lower. Let's bring the hands together at the heart. And this time we'll twist in the opposite direction toward the left. Again, with the hands together, or you can always keep a forearm against the outside of that thigh and one hand on the lower back for the twist, if you can. Palms together or fist to palm. From here, let's keep the weight on the left foot and then inhale and exhale, just very gently step that foot back. So you want to use the strength of the abdominals to hold your balance here. And then we'll take the arms up. And exhale, the hands come down to either side of that front foot. And then we'll hop that back foot up for a standing split. It doesn't matter how high that leg is. And again, you can use your hands far from that foot, or the closer you bring the hands to that foot, the more of a balance challenge it is. Or maybe just take one hand behind the ankle. And then inhale and exhale. We'll reach back with that back leg, lower it down, take the arms up. So we're back in a high lunge. Abdominal strong, reaching through the fingertips, inhale. Exhale, we'll pivot on that ball of the back foot and again, come into a warrior two. Make sure that front heel is aligned with the back arch. The knee is over the toes, shoulders dropped, reaching through the fingertips. Go ahead and reverse that front palm and take it back. And then we'll windmill the hands down to either side of that front foot. And then take that front foot back to the back foot so you're in a plank. And your choice, straight back to downward dog, or you can come through a vinyasa or flow by coming forward a little bit, knees up or knees down. Maybe your chaturanga, so you're lowering yourself halfway and then coming into up dog or cobra, your choice. And we'll all meet back in downward dog. Let's come up high on the balls of the feet and then walk the feet toward the hands. So we're back in a forward fold. This time, just heel toe your feet so they're to the edges of the mat at an angle, toes off the mat, heels on the mat, and then we'll slowly lower the hips. So we're coming into a low squat or malasana. Again, here, feel free to use a block for support. It might help if your feet are a little wider, or you can also roll the mat up under your heels for a little extra support as well. You can take your hands together at the heart, thumbs against the sternum, just to help you lift the chest up as you use the elbows to open up through the inner thighs. And then we'll take the hands to the mat, and then maybe one in front, one in back, slowly come all the way down. So you're sitting on the mat, legs in front. Oh, we don't have enough time for abs. I wanted to get an abs set. So we're going to come up to balance in a boat pose. Hold it there. Nice and strong through the abdominals. Maybe extend the legs. You can also take the toes to the mat, your choice. Maybe hold on to the toes with the top two fingers, your choice. Or open, trying to stay nice and tall, not collapse in the lower back, but the shoulders drop. Your choice, or go through all of them. And then we'll bring the feet back together, come back to your boat pose, and slowly lower down one vertebra at a time. Jumping all the way down to the mat. And let that go. Let's bring the soles of the feet together and just let the knees open up. Just let your hands relax at your side for a minute. And you can go ahead and close your eyes. And just take your hands to either side of your thighs and just gently bring them together. So your soles of the feet are now on the mat. And we'll cross the right leg over the left. And just slightly shift the hips to the right. Arms can be extended to a T, and allow the knees to drop to the left for a final twist. You can keep your arms extended, or if you like, take the left palm to the outside of that top knee for a little extra stretch. Allowing both shoulder blades to be on the mat. Gaze is to the ceiling, or maybe out to that right arm. See if you can relax through the shoulders and just let them melt toward the mat. If your palm is on your knee, re-extend that palm to the floor, and then we'll bring the knees back up and uncross, and just center your hips on the mat. And we'll take the left leg, cross it over the right, and shift the hips to the left a little bit, and then allow the knees to drop to the right. Keeping both shoulder blades on the mat or working toward the mat. Inhale, exhale, and just let the knees drop. Feel that stretch in the hip. Option to take a right hand on the outside of that left knee. And take your gaze to the left. And then you can re-extend both arms out and then bring the knees up, uncross. Go ahead and neutralize the hips to the center of the mat. And then extend one leg and the other leg for Shavasana. Arms coming out gently from the shoulders. Go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deeper breath. And exhale all the effort. Relaxing through the face and the jaw. And allow your breath to come to its own easy, natural rhythm. Feeling completely supported, allowing the shoulders to drop, let the legs be heavy. And slowly start to deepen the breath. Maybe extend through the fingers and the toes. You can inhale, take your arms up overhead, interlace the fingers, pressing the palms outward for a full body stretch. And exhale, bring one knee into the chest and the other knee. And slowly roll to one side. Using your hands to push yourself back up to a seated position. The legs crossed, bring the palms together at the heart. You can keep your eyes closed. Take one deep breath. And just take a moment to notice the result of your practice, any changes, sense of calm and balance. Take a moment of gratitude to yourself and all of us who share the practice. Staying nice and warm and dry and cozy for the rest of the day. Have a wonderful day. Namaste. All right. You're welcome. Let's see.
Thank you. Good way to start the new year.
Yes,
Thank you, Enid.
Thank you.
we weren't sure what we're gonna find because Fairfax where I am and some of the rest of us have no power at all, so.
Horrible.
No power, so you came in there for the power?
Well, my neighbor who was here, Audrey's in the class, so she was able to call along and found out, no, everything's fine here, so. We'll see if we have power back in Fairfax. Anyway, have a great day.
Have a great day, whichever way it goes.
Right. Oh, yes, thank you.
Thank you.